What is going on, guys? Welcome to the, well, it's a live stream. It's a live stream. And I apologize, but this is actually what I'm looking at currently. This is what I am looking at on my screen right now. So this is the video. And it's been sitting here processing for, 40 minutes. And it's about an hour-long video tonight for Team Builder action. So if you can't get through it, that's fine. Obviously, that's fine. But it's just sitting here processing. And normally it doesn't take this long. So I apologize. I apologize that it's getting up here at 11:53 at night. But what we're going to do is kind of what we've done with Team Builder in the past. So this video will post. And then I'll just upload it tomorrow. So anybody that was not able to catch this little live stream, I'll just post this video normally as a normal upload for tomorrow. But I'm going to go ahead and minimize this. And actually, I can't do that because then you guys are going to see some XBA action going on in the background here. So we'll just pop this OBS back up here and allow me to work and get the video ready for you guys and get this thing started. So we got 11 people here. And Aiden's like, what's up? Double H Cats, what's going on? That's a rest in peace. Yeah, it is. Yes, it is. Freaking YouTube. Price Greer. Yo, Sam, what's up, man? What's up, dudes? KJV Sup. I remember you. I remember KJV Sup with that Pikachu profile picture. I think he's the only one with that Pikachu profile picture. I remember people. That's what I do. All right, without further ado, let's get this thing underway. You're not going to be able to see this live. Actually, I'm going to make this live stream unlisted. I'll make it unlisted, and then I'll just post. I'll post the normal upload and make that visible to everybody out there. So let's get this thing underway, guys. Thanks for tuning in tonight. What is going on, guys? Welcome to week number 4, Big 12 Team Builder Dynasty. We have Camu going up against the Louisiana Ragin' Cajuns here on the road for out-of-conference play at Cajun Field. Guys, we're a couple weeks away until we get into conference play, probably the most interesting part of the entire Big 12 Team Builder Dynasty series. You guys want to see how your teams are going to face off against each other and who is going to earn the right to go to the Big 12 championship game, right? Well, we're a long ways away from that, guys. We're only 3 weeks in right now. This is week 4, so let's get this thing underway. Camu changing their offensive approach in this game. Reports out of Kansas A&M have talked about how RJ Goodman, their new head coach, their former offensive coordinator, wanted to get away from a lot of that power type of option, that Navy type of option that they used to run under Bud Warner. They're going with a little bit more, I'd say, Denver Tech, Macallen type of offense here. Some more Oregon style of offense with spread option, read option. And we'll see just how that's going to benefit the Camu running game. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But Louisiana is charging on Camu here as we see their quarterback, Jeremiah O'Connor. He's going to get to 3rd and goal for a 3-yard rush. Here's that 3rd and goal situation, and he's going to run it in. Takes 2 big hits, but he's going to get in for a 5-yard touchdown. And the Ragin' Cajuns fire the opening salvo here in this matchup. Here's that read option that we were just talking about with Camu, as Jake Reyes is going to get some blockers on the left side. He's going to pick up 15, and I like the look of this so far. I like the look of this. I think Camu can run this with the very best of the Big 12 and really challenge Denver Tech and Macallen here. If they start running this offense, Jake Reyes is definitely going to be in that Heisman race. Oh, yeah, you heard it here first. Here's a potential touchdown. Yep, Jake Reyes, look at that. Just weaving through traffic. You got to like that, man. That's what I'm talking about. Let's watch that one more time. Let's watch the beauty of the read option being run by Kansas A&M. Who do you guys think has a better option game already? I mean, you've only seen it a couple times, but who do you think has a better option game? Camu or Denver Tech? Put it in the live chat right here. I'm anxious to see what you guys think here. 7-7 game here, 1st and 10, and it's going to be a 10-yard reception to Brian Quinn. He's going to get to inches, though. 2nd and inches. Here's a sack. Jeremiah O'Connor going to go down. Going to get sacked for an 8-yard loss. Good job by Camu's defense. Here we are at the end of the first quarter, and hiya! Look at that. Wow, I guess that's one way to make the tackle. He basically just karate kicked this dude into oblivion. With a little sound effect there. 6:06 in the second quarter. We are at the very beginning of the second quarter, guys. Here's Jake Reyes one more time. Look at that. Look at that. The little play action, the fake run, and then he just throws it. I love it. I love it. Little Tim Tebow style. Kind of like Jake Reyes. I like what he's doing here. First down off a 12-yard rush. He's already up over 70 rushing yards. And then this little flip here on a speed option to Mark Bellamy. He's going to get 13. Second and goal. Reyes. Read option, baby. Reyes in the end zone again. He's got 2 touchdowns already, guys, in 2 quarters. So could he get 4 touchdowns? If he averages a touchdown every quarter? I think I like his odds. 3rd and 9. O'Connor going to pass. Little screen. 3rd down screen. Not going anywhere. 4-yard loss. And Louisiana's going to have to punt the football away. And why do we show punts? Well, yeah, good things happen, but I wanted to show you guys exactly how Camu got to this field position. They're up past the 40-yard line for Camu's next possession. And here comes Camu's option playbook. Jake Reyes to the right side for 33. 1st and goal. Reyes, only 2 plays. It took him 2 plays to get into the end zone off of the punt, and it is 21-7. Camu. This looks like it's all Camu, right? 1 minute and 20 seconds to go here, and we get a fumble. Thanks, Doug Flores. He drops the football, and it's going to give Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns here, another chance to get a score. Jump further ahead in this drive for Raging Cajuns. They're going to get a sack. It's going to be 4th and 15, and they're going to have to kick a field goal. This field goal is up, and it is good. 21-10 going into the half. It's a good job by Kansas A&M. It's a sucky job, though, giving up the football on a turnover, on a fumble, thanks to their offense. But it's a good job on defense just to hold the Raging Cajuns here to a field goal. Let's jump ahead into the third quarter, the very beginning of it, and it is a 21-10 game still. And O'Connor's going to get a 10-yard rush. The Raging Cajuns, they are threatening, and they're going to get a touchdown here to Rich Marquardt. One of those most popular names here in NCAA Football 14. Marquardt, Concepcion, and a couple others. I'm sure that you guys have probably seen a lot of other popular names. I'd love to hear them. Love to hear them in the chat here. 1st and 10. Here's a pass complete to Atari Biggs. He's going to pick up 6 on this little screen pass. It's going to be a 2nd and 4. 274 yards of total offense here for Camu, 214 for the Raging Cajuns. So they're hanging in there. They're hanging in there with Camu. Here's a read option here to Bellamy, and he's going to get down at the 1-yard line. But it's not going to stop him here on this next play. As Bellamy gets a touchdown, it's going to be 28-17. And we're now in the mid part of the fourth quarter. Reyes going to challenge at the goal line, and he's down at the 1-yard line. 1st and goal. Mark Bellamy for the touchdown. And guys, this game is over. Camu puts the nail in the coffin against these Raging Cajuns, and Reyes was the player of the game. 20 carries for 173 and multiple touchdowns. Jake Reyes was a boss. Simply put, I can't even think of another word to use. No, I got nothing. He was a boss. He was great. Let's get into this rivalry game in Texas. The Macallen Matadors against the Houston Cougars. Big time hit by Jean-Luc Martin. It's a fumble, and it's a fumble recovery for the Matadors. And they're inside Houston's 20-yard line. They're inside the red zone now after that huge hit. Jean-Luc Martin, the custom prospect from Canada. Unreal. Well, on 2nd and goal, Andres Buckley's going to get a touchdown for Macallen, and this one's over. I don't know how you can come back from that. This one's over. Let's move on. We got Virginia against Odessa State. Paris Austin and his dad, Braxton Austin, against Stan Leach. Just kidding. Because Houston, they're going to make a comeback here by the looks of it. Big time throw to Matt Brandt for 50. First and goal, and Houston is going to get a touchdown on 2 plays. 2 plays, can you believe it? Can you believe that? They have a chance to tie the game here. But it's going to miss. He's going to yank it left. So yeah, let's just, it's over. Macallen's up 7-6. It's done. You can't fumble the ball once on the first play of the game and then miss an extra point. You can't do it. So let's get into this game here. Virginia against Odessa State. Braxton Austin against Stan Leach. Rival head coaches. Just kidding. Just kidding. Or am I? God dang it. Can we just get this game over with now? So much sloppy play here between the Matadors and the Cougars. Macallen's going to fumble the ball. Thanks a lot, Patton. It's going to allow Houston to get inside their 20-yard line here, and we got a 2nd and 1. Alex Rich is going to get dropped for a 3-yard loss. 3rd and 3. Houston going to pick up the first down. Stiff arm. Could have fumbled, but Dante Campbell going to get 10 yards there. So I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I just wanted to troll you there for a little bit. We're going to show the full game. We're going to show this full game highlights. I mean, or not. God dang it. God dang it.
It's up. He clanks it off the upright. No good. And it hits the upright. No good. And he missed it off the upright.
And then we've got a field goal attempt. And Brad Nessler wants to remind us and remind the kicker 3 times. Maybe 3 times for every point that he missed. Right? He clanks it off the upright. He clanks it off the upright. He clanked it off the upright. This game is ridiculous. This game is ridiculous. I really just want to get into the next one. Can we get into the next one, please? It's 7-6, and we're going into halftime here with the Macallen lead. Like, these are 2 teams with really good offenses. They should easily be scoring all over each other, and it's not happening so far. But this big play might wake Houston up. Alex Rich with 17 yards, and then the touchdown to the tight end, Nick Bass. Nick Bass, 12-13 for Dante Campbell. So he's playing well, but they're just not getting like a lot of explosive plays. But Houston finds themselves up 13-7. They will hit the extra point. 3rd and 7 here, and Andres Buckley is going to get stopped short. Well short. It's actually so short that he's going to lose a yard. And this field goal wasn't even close. I don't know if there's any wind going on right now or what's going on, but the sliders are at default. I don't know what is happening with the kickers. I don't know. But Macallen's going to lose their field goal attempt here, and then on the next possession for Houston, they get a big-time play there by their running back, and then a potential, oh my God, first down to Matt Brandt. Just floated it up there down the sideline. It's going to be a big-time first down, big-time catch. Ben Jackson here for a yard. 3rd and 7, and this play is going to get stopped short. Nick Bass there for 5. Houston has a chance to kick this field goal up, and good. And the Cougar says, I like that. I like that. We're finally making field goals. 16 to put Macallen on upset alert. And why is that? Well, when we look at the numbers there, look at the time of possession. 8:24 compared to 5:36. The passing yards, the rushing yards, Macallen just isn't awake. And then we see Derek Wade, the wide receiver, getting tripped up there. I mean, what are we doing here, Macallen? 3rd and 16, mid part of the 3rd quarter. Billy Adams fire one up, and a nice catch, good catch, on a comeback by Robert Powell for 25. So 1st and goal, it sets him up. Let's go ahead up to 3rd and goal, and Andres Buckley on a draw play? On a draw play. I don't know what Macallen's doing on offense right now. And then this one's actually going to clank off the upright, but go in, and it's 16-10. End of the 3rd quarter here, Buckley's going to get stopped for only a 1-yard gain. It's going to be 2nd and 9. And Billy Adams is going to toss this one over to the left side. Dan Frazier for 15. They're going to get the first down. And we got to flip sides of the field now that we're in the 4th quarter. 2nd and 9, Billy Adams, nothing doing. And on the next play, he freezes. What is happening? What is happening? So he gets hit with a delay of game because he freezes. All right, so 3rd and 14. That's unfortunate for Macallen. 3rd and 14. They're down by 6, and they get stopped for a 1-yard gain. Leads them up to a field goal attempt, and we know how the kickers have been. Fortunately for Macallen, they hit this one good. 2nd and 11. Make it 3rd and 19 after this big-time sack. Here's the next play. Pass is going to be incomplete. Dante Campbell almost had enough mustard on it in order to get it to the receiver for 1 foot inbounds to get that first down. Fortunately, they did not. Well, we're late. 4th quarter. In fact, we got about 2 minutes and 13 seconds left to go, and then Houston is able to get Macallen to false start thanks to their fans. 3rd and 9. Here's a big throw to the left. He's got the touchdown. Robert Powell for 47 big-time yards. 19 of 21 for Billy Adams. Unreal throw. He's been great. He's been good. He's been good today. It's just kind of the same thing with Houston. They just haven't had a lot of explosive plays. Well, that one has probably been the most explosive one all day. Macallen's going to take the lead here 20-16, and Houston has to go on the comeback trail down by 4. You can't get a field goal. You need a touchdown. 2nd and 7. Nick Bass for 4. 3rd and 4. A minute 34 left to go in the game. Pass is going to be completed to Ricky Benjamin for 13. And that's going to set up Houston on a 2nd and 9. And he just throws it away. Throws it in traffic. But it was still enough to get out of bounds. Nobody had their hands up to go get it. 3rd and 9. Pass is what? Pass is completed. And they lose a yard. 4th and 10. Last play of the game for Houston. They got to get the first down. And an off-balance throw by Dante Campbell. And Macallen is going to survive and get a W. And yeah, that's definitely the play of the game, guys. Macallen fans travel well. They're happy about it. Billy Adams is happy about it. He's the player of the game, I would bet. Yep, 19 of 21, 198 yards, only 17 yards on 15 carries. So, you know, when I said he was good, I meant he was okay. Yeah, he was just okay. I mean, 19 of 21 is good, but the yards, not very good. All right, let's get into this matchup here. UL Monroe against Ardmore. Ardmore hosting the Warhawks. Thunder Wolves against Warhawks. I like it. I think that's a pretty cool matchup. 29 yards here for Eric Buchanan, leading us off here. Really good throw by David Thompson, and then a nice catch here by Darnell Savage down the sidelines for 13. 3rd and 1 situation, and we're calling a screen play. Yeah, the dreaded 3rd down screen that the CPU loves to call. Well, it works out for us. Xavier Wiggins going to get down at the 1-yard line. That's what all the cheerleaders are saying there. 1-yard line, 1-yard line. 2nd and goal, David Thompson. Little flip here to Brian Washington. Nice play. Good play. We had some pressure coming in at the line, and I really don't want to rely on Tyson Fenner to be our quarterback going forward here. As the number 3 team in the country, we need everybody healthy. Yeah, Grayson Stanfield is still hurt, so he's not playing today, especially in a kind of a meaningless game. You know, you want to see what your younger quarterback, David Thompson's got. But our defense has got to be better than this. 43 yards on this play. Raman Ramesses, a custom prospect renamed player, actually, is going to complete this pass here. And he's going to complete this one to Pratt on a 3rd and 13. But Justin Pratt's going to get stopped short. It's going to lead to a field goal attempt here for UL Monroe. And they're going to hit right down the middle. 7-3 game. This one's, like I said, is going to be a quick highlight reel, guys, because Ardmore looks to do some damage here and impose their will, impose their dominance. 2nd and 2 after a nice run by Xavier Wiggins. And Tom just sees something he likes here. Nice little flip to Eric Buchanan. Could have gotten called for a face mask, but it doesn't matter because we're in the red zone. And we're going to score. We're going to freaking score here. Let's go. 1st and goal. Tomsha rolling out to the right. He's going to make his man miss, but he gets stopped. That's unreal, man. He gets stopped at the 1-yard line. We've got Nathan Arbaugh open as the X receiver, but we can't get it off in time. And it's 4th and goal here at the 6. We're going for it, though. Tomsha, roll out one more time. Flip to Eric Buchanan for the touchdown. That's a great throw It's a great throw, even better catch. Nice job to come back to your quarterback. That touchdown was basically happened because of good communication between your receiver and your quarterback. They must be practicing that in training, in practice. First and goal. Mark Ryan going to get stopped for a 1-yard gain. He's going to get stopped here behind the line for a 1-yard loss. It's going to be third and goal. Ardmore is trying to keep the Warhawks out of the end zone. Third and goal. Nice job by Chris Dunn coming through. David Dunn. David Dunn. UL Monroe is going to get a field goal, and then the pressure on Tomsha, but he's going to flip it off to Willie Nelson. 20-yard catch. It's starting to look like Ben Shanoski out here. Pass completed to Darnell Savage, except there's one problem. Ben Shanoski would not complete that pass. First and goal. Savage, back of the end zone. Touchdown. It's all Ardmore, guys. It's all Ardmore. 3 touchdowns. We haven't even entered halftime yet for David Tomsha. Second and goal. Mark Ryan going to fumble the football as Derek Andrews comes up with a huge hit. Boyd Scales going to pick it up. We got a chance. We got a chance to make it 28-6 here. Here's a nice run by Xavier Wiggins, but he's going to get tackled by the shoestrings to stop him short of the end zone. Here's a nice pass complete to Willie Nelson up the middle for another touchdown. David Tomsha now 4 scores in the third quarter. He's having himself a heck of a day, a career day no less. Ardmore back here with the football, and now he's trying for another touchdown to Willie Nelson, but this one was just overthrown. He's not the most accurate quarterback. It's not his game. He's more of a running style of guy, but he's actually going to throw it again. Pass is complete to Willie Nelson, but he fumbles. He fumbled. He was all the way to the end zone on that play, guys. So Tomsha, we drew that play up one more time, and Willie Nelson just let us down. He let us down, and he let the football down, unfortunately. Here's James Jamison and Anthony Jacobs teaming up on Mark Ryan to drop him for 7. 2nd and 17. Mid-third quarter, Jamar Diggs could have had that safety on Mark Ryan, the running back, but good block there by the Warhawk offensive lineman. 3rd and 17. Ramesses in his own end zone. Going to flip here to Daniels. They're going to get positive yardage this time, but they get stopped short of the first down. Ardmore with football one more time. And Oliver Price, the freshman, 8-yard catch here. Brother of David Price, one of our, it's kind of a throwback name, guys. If you guys remember David Price, one of our outside linebackers that won a national championship. Yeah, that David Price. Here's Darnell Savage. We haven't really seen a whole lot of him. Couple catches. He's actually up to 6 catches for 76 and a score. So he did have that touchdown, and then he also had that one down the sideline. But that's a nice move touchdown there for him, and we're destroying UL Monroe right now. It's 35-6. And I think from this point on, we're probably only going to be showing Ardmore highlights. Yep, it looks that way. David Tomsha here rolling out to the right, and he's going to fire to Aaron Golden. Is going to pick up the first down for 11. That's his first catch of the day. 2 minutes and 19 seconds, and Xavier Wiggins is going to put Ardmore on top again, and it's 41-6. And just for good measure, I want to show you guys this play. Look at this play by Justin Miller, the sophomore cornerback with the 99 speed. Yeah, he's a boss. He's great. You can bring him off the blitz. He's good in coverage. Really good player. He gets that sack. Just wanted you guys to see that because I thought that was important. Thought that was a nice little play from him. David Tomsha, player of the game. I think that's well-deserved. He had 4 touchdowns on the night, and Ardmore takes care of business against UL Monroe. All right, now we can finally get into this great matchup here. I love this matchup. There's so much bad blood between these two head coaches. Virginia as a program doesn't have any beef against Odessa State, but these two head coaches have a lot against each other here. Braxton Austin, as you guys know, was the understudy, or basically was hired by Stan Leach when he was at Odessa State. And, you know, there's been a lot of weird stories coming out of Odessa State, thinking that the program is kind of under investigation for some possible recruiting violations. Once those news stories started coming out, and he knew exactly who that was, aka Braxton Austin, he decided to leave, and now he's the head coach at Virginia. Johnny Johnson Jr. getting sacked for a 7-yard loss, so it looks to be like a good game here on tap tonight. Here's a little screen pass, and they got blockers out in front. They're going to pick up the first down, though, guys. Unreal. 23 yards for Steve Norton, and they get the first down. 1st and 10, and it's going to be picked off Virginia. They take control a little past the 50-yard line, but Wes Timmons comes up with that pick. He's a big boy, too. He made that interception look easy. 3rd and 8. Cartier Thomas going to be completed here to Kevin Johnson, but that's not going to be good enough for the first down, so they're going to have to give it back to Odessa State. So unfortunately, if you're rooting for Virginia here, they didn't get the job done off that turnover. Jay Ballmer. First time we've seen Jay Ballmer. Former Shreveport tight end is transferred out to Odessa State. He had to sit a year because of the transfer rule, but he makes a nice catch here for 20-plus yards to move the chains. 3rd and 14 for Odessa State, and once again, Steve Norton, well, another screen pass there. He can't get the first down. So Odessa State going to settle for a field goal. They do get that up and good. Cartier Thomas, 1 of 4. So he has not been very effective here so far in this game. Pass going to be completed on a 3rd and 10 to Joel Rhodes, and that's not going to be good enough for the first down either. Odessa State charging late here in the first quarter. They pick up a first down thanks to Guy Edwards for 9. 50 seconds to go in the first quarter. 1st and 10, and Johnny Johnson going to throw in the back of the end zone. Incomplete. He's 16 of 19 in the first quarter. Like, what is that stat line? Little stutter step here. Is he going to get the first down? Nope. It's going to be 3rd and inches, so they're throwing the football a lot. But they do get their first touchdown of the game via the ground game. Interesting little stat line, little tidbit of information for you there. 10-0. Odessa, they're on top, 6:46. Virginia's got to make something happen. Nice run here by Lane. Nice completion by Jimmy Rosario for 12. 3rd and 4, and they got to get rid of it. 8 of 13 for 47 yards. So Odessa State's defense is really holding down this Virginia offense and Cartier Thomas. But they're still within striking distance. The defense has to come through here on a 2nd and 2. They do. Steve Norton only going to get 1. 3rd and 1. Play action. Pass is somehow completed to Doug Williams. And yeah, you reading that right. 10 receptions before the halftime hit. That's crazy. It's absolutely nuts. Here's Keller bouncing off the tackler with a stiff arm, with a vicious stiff arm. Lawrence Keller going to get 14 and set him up 1st and goal. Skip ahead. 3rd and goal. Lawrence Keller, touchdown. Nobody was even on him. Nobody was even covering him. And this game is all Odessa State, guys. 17-3 with 2 minutes and 22 seconds to go. Allen Lane is going to get dropped to 3rd and 6. 2 minutes. Cartier, what do you got? Nothing. 4th and 2. Braxton Austin says, we want to be aggressive. We're calling a timeout. I believe in my offense. I believe in my son. Paris Austin is going to get 17 on that pass from J Cube. Johnny Johnson Jr. Pass is going to be completed here to Doug Williams for 3rd and inches. They will pick up the first down. Let's move to 3rd and 3. Pass going to be completed here again to Doug Williams for 4. 33 seconds. They still have 1 timeout to go. Odessa going to fire it up the middle to Paris Austin. He's going to get 18. 12 seconds. 2nd and goal. Johnson. Pass completed. Steve Norton. Touchdown. What are you guys thinking here? Do you think Virginia has a shot? Is this game over? It's 24-3. Cartier has been bad. He has not looked comfortable. He's not looked good. He's not looked efficient. But, hey, they're on the comeback trail. They need a big play to help them out. They need that momentum to come back. And that play just might do it. But do you guys actually think that this comeback is going to happen? Let me know in the comment section. Nice play by Lane Allen, or Allen Lane. He's got 2 first names. I forget what it is. We got a false start. We got a false start by Virginia. So they're on a little bit of a charge here, but they will pick up that false start. It's going to be 1st and 15, and then a bomb deep touchdown to Ricky. What? I'm sorry, I'm gonna laugh. Ricky Henderson. That just makes me, it's just weird that I have to say that. Ricky Henderson with the touchdown. Baseball player, Oakland Athletics. Whatever. NCAA football, 14 names, guys. It's crazy. It's crazy. 24-10. So Virginia makes a little bit of a comeback here. They get that touchdown, and then this pass is going to be what? It's picked off. It's picked off by Virginia, and Braxton Austin's yelling at his offensive lineman like, you get over there. You make sure you get your quarterback protected. What are you doing? Cartier Thomas takes a big hit, but he's going to flip it to his running back. And I'm going to remember the name this time. Allen Lane. First and goal. Allen Lane in the lane for a touchdown. 6-yard score here to make it a 24-17 game here late in the third. 3:09. And then a sack. Johnny Johnson Jr. goes down for his 2nd and 21. Read option play is going to be also stuffed. And Johnny Johnson Jr. going to go down again. 3rd and 24. More pressure. Sacked another time. Virginia, 3 straight sacks. And now the minute 35 to go. Virginia is coming back. 17-24, guys. Nice catch down the sideline by Rosario. Nice catch again here down the sideline. Cartier Thomas is looking like that big-time recruit that he was a few seasons ago. 1st and goal, and Thomas going to go completed to Allen Lane. Another touchdown for Lane, and Virginia has tied the game, 24-24. Literally, the start of the fourth quarter, 7 minutes. Pass complete to Jay Ballmer. That's his 2nd catch of the night. That goes for 6. 2nd and 6 as we jump forward, and then Paris Austin gonna get this catch and turn it upfield for 25. 2nd and 2. Read option. That's gonna be a touchdown. Just wide open running lanes for Johnny Johnson Jr. And Virginia, that was a very, very quick score for Odessa State. 3rd and inches for Virginia. This is a big down for them. They're gonna get this almost picked off. That could have been the other way. For a pick 6, Matthew Henry with the coverage. 4th and inches. This is pretty much the game. And oh, whoa! Cartier Thomas. He faked that guy out. He faked the defender out. He thought he was gonna pitch it, but he didn't. And here's a nice pass. Nope, not a good pass. I was gonna say nice pass deep, but that is a deep pass. A deep bad pass. I mean, goodness gracious. And then 2nd and 10. Cartier Thomas gonna get dropped for 12. It's 3rd and 22. What is the play call here? Thomas is going to fire one deep in the corner. What? He one-hand caught it. One-hand catch by Ricky Henderson. I can't do it. I can't say it without laughing. Allen Lane for 2-yard touchdown, though. It's 31-31. Ricky Henderson, maybe that's Ricky Henderson Jr. guy. I don't know, but you know, he's showing off shades of his ancestor there with a nice little basket catch from the outfield. And then Johnny Johnson Jr. throws a pick. Oh, it's going the other way late here in the fourth quarter. That's the 4th turnover for Odessa State. 1:53 to go, and how you can't do that. You can't do that, Johnny. What are you doing? 2nd and 5, 1:30 to go. Cartier scanning the field, but the fumble! Odessa gonna pick it up. They recover it. The first turnover for Virginia, is it gonna cost them the game? We're gonna find out. Odessa State driving down the field, 49 seconds to go. An off-balance throw, and Paris Austin somehow makes this catch inbounds. 45 seconds, and a big-time strike to Paris Austin. Touchdown. Odessa State takes the lead with 41 seconds to go. What a turn of events in this game. And you got to know that both these head coaches are reeling right now. Stan Leach is throwing out every trick in the playbook in order to beat Braxton Austin, just as the same as Braxton is doing to Stan Leach, guys. 29 seconds to go here. Virginia up past midfield, 2nd and 6. Pass going to be completed. They pick up the first down. They're going to have to use that timeout. They do. Rosario gets dropped. He picks up that first down, but a flag on the field. It's going to be a face mask. Odessa State being undisciplined. Allen Lane draws the face mask on Travis Frederick. That's going to push them to the 15-yard line. They're inside the red zone. 2nd and 10. Cartier throw into the back of the end zone. He's not in bounds. He couldn't get 1 foot in. Good defense by Odessa State. 3rd and 10. They go with a screen play. What are you doing, Virginia? They're going to have to call the timeout with 5 seconds left. 4th and 6. What is the play call here? They got trips to the left. Odessa State, you might want to bring some pressure. 4th and 6. Cartier throw the back of the end zone. Touchdown! Nelson Diamondhead. Touchdown, Virginia. It's tied up. 38-38. We're going to overtime. It was the same play call that they called when he couldn't make the catch in bounds, and this time he does. 38-38. We're going to OT. This is a 4th down and 7. Field goal will be up and good. Odessa State now has to hold Virginia to a field goal or they lose. Here's a screenplay to Allen Lane. He's going to get 9. 2nd and 1. Cartier Thomas completed. First down to the 4. 1st and goal. Thomas, oh, they had the touchdown there, but it's going to be dropped. Good defense by Odessa State. 2nd and goal. Quick pass, going to be almost picked off. How do you drop that? How do you drop that? The game's on the line, man. 3rd and goal. They're going screen one more time. And a good defensive player there to stop the screen. They finally hold Virginia's offense. This onslaught that Virginia has had, they've solved this defense by the looks of it. So they do settle for the field goal, but another touchdown here in the corner. Wow, what a throw to Ben Mendoza. Cartier Thomas, guys, is balling right now. This is an impressive performance by Thomas. Johnny Johnson Jr., they're going to find Paris Austin on a strike. They're going to get to about the 4-yard line here. 2nd and goal. Pass completed. Another touchdown for Odessa State. And the game is tied as long as they get the extra point, and they will. Triple overtime. You got to go for 2 if you get a score. But you need to get a score first. Johnson Jr. likes something out to the right. It's Paris Austin. No, he dropped it. He dropped it. Odessa going to kick the field goal. It is up. It is good. 51-48. Cartier scanning the field. He's going to fire deep to the left. Touchdown! Touchdown, Virginia! Virginia knocks off Odessa State, and Stan Leach gets the win over Braxton Austin in Odessa State, Texas. Wow, what a game. What a game. What a throw. Cartier Thomas, 403 yards, 5 touchdowns. Guys, we have to watch that play again. We have to. It's insane. Watch Cartier look right down that side of the field. He never took his eyes off of it. Wow. Just an absolute strike, an absolute dime. And guys, what a victory for Stan Leach and this Virginia team. That's going to do wonders for recruiting, and then people are going to ask questions about Braxton. What a game. Virginia, Odessa State, 54-51. Virginia beats Odessa in their place. Stan Leach gets revenge on Braxton Austin for basically outing him from Odessa State. Denver Tech gets the W over Kansas State, 48-7. Macallen, we saw this game 20-16. Little Rock on top of Toledo, 38-14. Ardmore, you saw this one. We held them to single digits in points without a single touchdown against UL Monroe, 42-17. Amarillo on top of New Mexico, 42-9 for ACU. So they also beat up on, look at all these 40-point games, guys. Crazy, crazy point production here for the Big 12. 38-31 game. Midland State beats Central Michigan. Shreveport over Southern Miss, 31-17. And Georgia State, I said this was going to be the upset special of the week, 33-17. That is your final score for that game, 38-17. Camu over Lafayette. You guys saw that one as well. And this one I want to talk about because, as you guys know, I do simulate only one time. So when I simulate each game, whatever happens, happens. And, you know, fortunately for Broken Arrow, I could be nice to him and I could back out and try again, but, you know, it would not be true to the simulation, guys. It would not be true to the simulation. So they lose 33-17. And well, let's take a look at the box scores here real quick before we get into week number 5's preview. And Virginia, Odessa, what happened here? Well, you guys saw it. Ton of offense. Each team really came on late in this game. A lot of turnovers for Odessa State, and that's really what did this team in. Virginia capitalized on those turnovers. 3 interceptions for Johnny Johnson Jr. Crazy. So J cubed, you know, he was good enough to get him the win, but he was also bad enough to get him the loss here. 82% completion, 4 touchdowns, 8.4 yards average, 68 attempts. His arm basically fell off, but, you know, like I said, he was good. He put up enough numbers to where it seemed like they were going to be good enough to get a win. Unfortunately, it just wasn't enough. It wasn't good enough to take out the bad. I mean, look at this. 1 touchdown, 1 touchdown, 1 touchdown. So all these receiving touchdowns for Odessa State. Paris Austin, 7 for 123. 17. Look at this. This is insane. 17 catches, 15 catches between Doug Williams and Stevie Norton. Like, what is that? What is that? Cartier Thomas matched Johnny Johnson Jr., tit for tat. 1 for 1. 42 of 56, 403, 5 touchdowns, 75%, 9.5 yards average of completion, guys. So that Stan Leach offense was working for Cartier Thomas, a custom prospect. Nelson Diamondhead was a renamed player, and he also got a touchdown as well. But Rosario was the big name for Virginia. What a game. What a game. One of the best that I've ever seen. Denver Tech and Kansas State. One more time. Brant. And, yep, so Brant, he had 3 touchdowns. Which is a nice thing to see because we're looking to hopefully keep him out of the Heisman race, right? Ardmore fans, we want Xavier Wiggins. You know, we want some of our own guys in there in the Heisman race instead of this guy. But Brant, he did great again. He had a great game. 3 touchdowns through the air, 11 of 15, 189. Greer actually had to come into the game, so we'll have to check on that. It might have been just because it was blowout territory. But Dustin Miller, guys, 26 attempts for 190 yards and a touchdown. Crazy. So between him and Thomas, those guys might be looking at possible Heisman Trophy consideration as well. Nick Burns, 3 for 60. They just did not have to throw the football because Denver Tech just doesn't have to. Good win for Denver Tech. Macallen and Houston. This game was pretty boring, all things considered. We had a couple of turnovers in the game that could have swung the matchup either way, but it was pretty boring. It was kind of derpy, too. There's a couple plays there that were kind of like, what? What am I looking at? 19 of 21 for Billy Adams, so he was highly efficient, 90% completion for 1 touchdown, only 17 yards on the ground. But Andres Buckley had a score and 71 yards. He's just solid. He's just a very solid running back. I don't know if he's performing well enough to get into that Heisman contention or even the Heisman race. We see Powell here with a couple big catches for him with 1 touchdown there. Frazier had a couple big catches. So good win for Macallen in this rivalry game. Little Rock and Toledo. Let's take a look. 573 yards of total offense. Good. That's exactly what needs to happen against a team like Toledo. LaQuinton Evans, 14 of 20. He was decent. No picks. Tompkins actually had to come into the game too, and might have, again, because of blowout territory. But yeah, 70% for Evans, so he played well. Mack, 96 yards on less than 20 carries. I always like to see that. And receiving-wise, Jason and Wilson, 1 more time, 2 touchdowns. Keneal Mason, 4 for 57 for a touchdown. And Jameel Carter is kind of just getting buried in this offense. 1 reception for 11 yards. Pretty crazy to me how a guy like Jameel Carter can be on the field in so many different packages, so many different sets, but just does not ever get looked at. Ardmore's game 42-6. Not much to talk about here for UL Monroe. They were not very good. But David Tomsha was great. 4 touchdowns, 1 pick. It was a bad throw. It's a bad throw. He's got to work on some of his accuracy issues. He's not really the most accurate quarterback. He's more of a running style guy, but we did dink and dunk every now and then, threw a couple deep bombs, trusted his receivers to make plays, 75%. And then Tyson Fenner came into the game to clean up the mess for UL Monroe. He went 4 of 4. Xavier Wiggins was a boss today again, 14 for 82 for 2 scores, 5.8 average. Darnell Savage again with another touchdown. Nelson with a touchdown. Buchanan with a touchdown. Washington with a touchdown. It was great. Look at all the yards receiving-wise for your Thunderwolves. Good production for the Thunderpups. Amarillo and New Mexico, 42-17. Yep, another 500-plus yard performance for a Big 12 team. Justin Davis, 16 of 19, 300 quarterback rating, 5 scores, a pick, and 84%. 19.7 average yards per completion. So every single completion that this guy had today was big. Was a big completion, and the longest was 80. So when you look at that and you think, well, he's probably gotten some 10-yard receptions in there, some 5-yard dink and dunks a little bit. But to have an 80 to a 19.7, you're probably throwing for about 15 yards per completion right there. I mean, I'm not doing the math right now, but I'm just guessing. I'm kind of spitballing it there, but that would seem like it would be right. Brandon Lee, 13 for 93 and a score. Again, these two guys, between Brandon Lee and Ezekiel Henry, Davis, the quarterback, and then Fogel. This is a very good running back crew. Griffin Rivers, thank you for standing up finally. We finally have seen him produce. 5 catches, 102 for a score. 2 touchdowns for John Hunter and Sledge, the tight end, and Orion Bradshaw. 1 catch, 22, and a score. The custom prospect, Orion Bradshaw. The big-time guy, Orion Bradshaw. He's a big dude. He's like Calvin Johnson. ACU 42-9. Unfortunately, they did not get 27 more yards to get to that 500 mark, but they did hold their own against South Alabama. 14 of 20, 3 touchdowns, 70%. Jake Lewis Jr. had to come in again as just kind of some mop-up duty. Saquon Snow. Nice to see Saquon Snow starting to get some action here in this ACU team. I know a lot of people that submit some of their renames just haven't seen any of these guys in a long time, and it takes some time for them to develop and become starters. So if you guys are still around, people that have renamed players for ACU, they're starting to produce here. David Danowski, 2 touchdowns, and Orpheus McConnell, also the quarterback, got a touchdown rushing. David Danowski also, receiving-wise, got 2 touchdowns. Aiden Mitchell, the slot receiver, had another touchdown as well. So David Danowski, 4 touchdowns total. Definitely was the player of the game. Midland State in another close one against Central Michigan. What do you know? They missed it out by 3 yards. Oh well. Midland State always letting us down here. Kent Collins was great though, 64%, 4 touchdowns. Against Central Michigan, you'd probably want that completion percentage to be a little bit higher, but it is what it is. They did get the W. Unfortunately for Central Michigan, they held in as long as they could. They just couldn't take out a top-ranked Big 12 team. Kyle Wagner, 68 yards, touchdown. Blake Storm, 101 yards and a touchdown. Colton Yo had another touchdown. This guy always finds the end zone. Colton Yo, the custom prospect. I love this dude. Shreveport and Southern Miss continuing their hot streak is Shreveport. No turnovers, so they played very conservative football, rushing the football 34 times here, 237 yards. A touchdown, only 18 of 25 passing, so yeah, they're still grinding it out down on the ground. 72% for Ashley. This is really helping him. That running game is really helping Kerry Ashley to be very, very good. 3 touchdowns, no picks. Take a look at the running here. Rob Jackson, 132 yards, a touchdown. Eaton Collins, Stephen Bryant. These custom prospects with running backs, they're looking good. Jackson, 98 for a touchdown. Tyler Jones, the slot receiver, got a touchdown. Eaton Collins, there you go. Must have been one of those dreaded screen passes for 9 yards and a score. Jacob Canatella, though, 1 catch for 5. Oh, yeah, we got to check this one out. We definitely got to check this one out. 33-17. They gave up 460 yards of total offense against Georgia State. Yeah, that happened. I want to see especially how Lamont Christian played. He played bad, again. Less than 100 QB rating, 20 incompletions, 221 yards, a pick and a touchdown, 54%. Not good enough, Lamont. Just not good enough. He did get a rushing touchdown. Viper, he was fed. 11 attempts, 63 yards. Didn't do enough. They're not doing enough through the air. You know, Yancey with 4, Holmes with 3, Buchanan Simmons, 11 catches for 89. 11 catches for 89. That average is pretty bad. Average of 8 yards per catch. That's pretty bad, guys. Means they're dinking and dunking all day, and Buchanan Simmons is the type of guy that you want to bomb it deep to. Like, he's big enough to go up and get it, and athletic enough to get up and get it. I'm surprised that he's not being utilized the way that he should. So, fortunately for Uba, they get another loss. And end this one out, we've got Camu against Lafayette. Pretty close game as far as yards are concerned. Only 10 attempts and 9 completions for Jake Reyes and the Camu Amber Wave. Yeah, look at that. 90%, 39 yards for Jake Reyes. They just continued to run the football. They didn't really care about the passing game today against UL Lafayette. They really just wanted to impose their will on the Raging Cajuns, and it worked. Flores and Jake Reyes, 34 attempts combined, over 280 some yards for rushing, and 3 scores for Jake Reyes. So he's my Heisman dark horse, guys. I think that if he keeps performing like this, especially in conference play, he could do it. He could do it. And you guys have probably noticed that RJ Goodman, the offensive coordinator, used to be offensive coordinator, now head coach for Camu. He changed their offensive playbook. It's changed. Yeah, they went to more of a spread type of option instead of using the power type of Maryland eye type of option that Bud Warner used to implement. So that's probably going to help the Camu Amber Wave out here going forward. You know, new coach, he tried to stick with what Bud Warner was wanting him to do on offense, but, you know, now that it's his show, he's changing some things around. So good win for Camu. We'll see how they do next week. And that is your box score and your recap for week number 4. Let's take a look at week number 5. We got Nebraska State against Toledo, Auburn against Amarillo, Texas Tech at Little Rock, Camu at Iowa, Eastern Carolina against Macallen, Arkansas State against Arkansas Christian, Midland State hosting Tulane, Tulsa at Broken Arrow. That's another Oklahoma type of game. And then Western Kentucky at Odessa State. Now, as far as picks go, I'm taking Nebraska State in this one. I think we can definitely get the job done. We'll have to see, you know, how long Dante LaBelle is still out for. But I think if we can continue to feed LaBelle and just play really well on offense, not giving up the football, not turning it over, I think we can beat a Toledo team that's 0-2. I think that can be done. I think that's reasonable to suspect that we can get that done. Amarillo against Auburn. I don't think this is the same Auburn that we are thinking of. Remember, we are in 6 years past Kyler Murray days, okay? So this is not the same Auburn that we're used to knowing. And I think Amarillo is just better. I think they're just better across the board. I think they're going to get the W in this one. We're rocking Texas Tech. I'm going to take Texas Tech in this one. 314 yards per game through the air. The number 7 passing attack. Yeah, they've played one more game. Little Rock has played one more game than Texas Tech, and they have that A- offense. And, you know, I'm doubting LaQuinton Evans at this point, but and they're number 6 overall. I just think Texas Tech is going to come in and upset them. I do. I think that's going to happen. I think if you want to go with a dark horse type of pick, take Texas Tech. If you want to stick to chalk, go with Little Rock. Something in my gut, though, is telling me Texas Tech. And obviously I have not advanced anywhere, and I don't know the results, and so I wouldn't lead you astray. But I think that's got definitely a chance to happen. Camu against Iowa. It looks pretty even as far as the overall ratings go, but I'm going to go with Camu, especially in that newfound offensive scheme. They still boast the #1 rushing offense in the land at 335 yards. It's crazy. It's crazy. And that total offense at 480 compared to 455, you know, it's a little closer than it looks. But I'm going to go with Camu in this one. East Carolina against Macallen. I'm going to take Macallen. This one's easy. This one shouldn't have a preview. Arkansas State against ACU. I'm going to take ACU, especially at home and just being the better team. Tulane against Midland State. I'm taking Midland State. I think that one's pretty easy too. I don't think that one needs a preview either. Tulsa against Broken Arrow. Now look at this. This is what's crazy to me. This is why UBA is so hard to do and pick them. They have an A+ offensive rating. How are they that bad on offense? Their rushing offense is 114th and their passing offense is 40th. I still think they're going to beat Tulsa, but I don't know why that they do so bad in simulation. It's the weirdest thing. Take UBA. I think that they can get a W here and go back to 500. Western Kentucky at Odessa State. This is easy too. This is a cupcake matchup. Take Odessa State with that A offense. They're going to get the bounce back win after going down to Stan Leach and Virginia. All right, so that's going to be week number 5, guys, and week number 4 recap. Oop, there's week number 6 for you. A little light action there for week 6, by the way. A little preview. But week 4 is in the books. Week 5, we'll see you next Saturday. So, guys, leave a like if you like this thing. I will see you then. As always, peace.